Yes, Project Esther is true, and it's been written into the framework of Project 2025 for quite a long time now, but this is why we stop looking at the distractions. I'm here to break down Project Esther in an educational way because knowledge is power, and I'm not really seeing a lot of content creators do anything other than fearmonger right now, so let me get you the facts. And shameless plug, episode 2 of Total Hypocrisy, the podcast, is going to do a deep dive on this, so stay tuned, make sure you follow along so I can let you know when that episode will be out. In order to understand Project Esther, you have to understand where the name comes from, how they are going to sell it to the American people. Now, this is based on the Bible. Specifically, this is a white Christian nationalist movement. The Heritage Foundation is behind it. It is incorporated and interwoven into Project 2025. In the Bible, Esther is a woman who becomes the queen of Persia and finds herself in the middle of a plot for the Persian people to be absolutely exterminated. And she is the woman that intercepts the situation and saves them from that absolute genocide. So that's going to be the sell. The sell is going to be that there are people all throughout the country, progressives, leftists, Democrats, anyone who does not agree with the Project 2025 agenda, and they want to essentially exterminate the white Christian nationalists. That's the story they will sell to the American people. Except they will not use the language white Christian nationalists. They will say it's an attack on Christianity. So let me show you now how Project Esther is planned out to sort of infiltrate every aspect of the American people's lives. The main objective of Project Esther is to completely demolish the idea of separation of church and state. And their plan for having this done is to galvanize or emotionally pull at the Christian right and make sure that there is a strong network of faith leaders as well as churches, meaning there's going to be this major network of white Christian nationalists who are moving Project Esther forward. And the plan is to take all of these faith leaders, this giant network that has then been created, and infiltrate the American government at all levels. They will run essentially Project Esther candidates from churches as candidates and get them involved politically all over the country. And they are to focus heavily on the issues of abortion, parental rights, education, and religious liberty. And there are a number of key elements that you have to be on the lookout for. The first of these is church mobilization. They will build a national coalition of churches and pastors who will act as a moral compass for things like elections and public policy. Step 2 is policy influence. They will make sure that they have candidates at all levels of government, like I said. And when they are in these roles, when they hold offices, they are to make sure that they are driving the white Christian nationalist agenda forward. Once elected and installed in their offices, these candidates are to push forward the white Christian nationalist agenda by passing laws that reflect their beliefs. These beliefs include anti-LGBTQ legislation, curriculum bans, the expansion of school choice, and the expansion of religious exemptions in healthcare as well as education. And while this will happen again at all levels of government, step 3 is very specific to local government. And that shows you how unfortunately smart they are, because when you think about government, you think of the president, you think of the Supreme Court, you think about all of these really big players in Washington, but that's not where the real change happens. Real change happens at the micro levels of government in cities, towns, and boroughs. So they will develop a leadership pipeline for Christian nationalists to become school board members as well as other very local elected officials. And then those individuals at the micro level of government all throughout the United States will push faith-based policy. And they get all of this done through step 4, which is cultural and spiritual framing. Across the nation, those involved in Project Esther will reframe political issues as spiritual warfare. They will tell Christian believers that they need to be involved politically, not because of activism, not because it is civic duty, but rather because it is religious duty. And those are the straight facts of what is to come. There are so many more intricacies to this, how they will play to the idea that anyone who is pro-Palestine must be an anti-Semite, the idea that they will infiltrate education in very detailed ways. I will go into all of that on the podcast, but this is the fact of what the overview looks like. This is what the goal is, to get rid of the separation of church and state.